So Stalker 2 has been out for 2 weeks on Xbox Series X, S, PC, and you can play it on Game Pass. Now this title has a lot of great strengths, but it is not without its faults. In this video, we're gonna go over the cons first, then we'll get into the pros, and then I'll talk about the mods I used to enhance the experience, and I'll list all of those mods and explain what they are, so you can easily find them and do the same. Now, I want to get into the cons first because I think that's what most people are most concerned about when they are thinking about trying a game. You want to know what's wrong with it. So it only makes sense to start with the most glaring issue, the lackluster A-Life. A-Life was a system implemented in the first Stalker where all NPCs all over the map could be spawned in at the same time, and NPCs would get into fights with each other, roam around the map, seemingly independent of the player's actions. More like a living, breathing world. Now, these occurrences with NPCs still happen, they just spawn in a lot closer than they would with the full A-Life system. Now, this IGN article by Wesley Yin Poole, where they interviewed GSC Game World Creative Director, Maria Grigorovich, she goes on to explain how, during the optimization process ahead of launch, the A-Life 2.0 system became extremely buggy. So really it just wasn't ready for launch, and they even had to decrease the distance from the player at which NPCs spawn just to get the game running to an acceptable degree, which many might argue it's not even at an acceptable point. However, the description of the game was obviously changed. Originally, they did mention A-Life 2.0 by name with promises on how game-changing it would be. It was then later removed and replaced with a description that read, "Advanced artificial intelligence systems that will keep engaged even the most hard-boiled players." Now, Maria claims someone on GSC's marketing team took it upon themselves to change that description, and she apparently knew nothing about it, but they obviously needed to change this description with how the game was going to launch with the current A-Life 2.0 system. It spawns enemies right in front of you, or directly behind you, at very close ranges, and there are plenty of mods already that handle a lot of the issues I'm going to be talking about decent enough, so don't worry, I will be getting into that in the second half of the video. Also, the NPC health is so high. I mean, I was shooting them multiple times in the head. Human NPCs take like 5 shots to the body. I mean, it's kind of arcadey, you know? I want my AI enemies to be deadly, very deadly, but I also want them to be as vulnerable as they would be. I'm not saying easy, I don't want everything to be easy, but I want them to go down in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, 1 shot to the head should be standard, I think, with all tactical shooters. Standard 1 to the head or 2 to 3 body shots. Again, I have mods that have corrected that for me, and I actually feel pretty comfortable and happy with the mod that fixes that. Now, the next thing I think is of most concern is the performance. The performance is really bad. I mean, I was getting 30 to 40 something frames on vanilla. There's a little bit of pop-up with objects in the distance, but honestly, doesn't bother me that much. It's not as bad as a lot of other games. GSC Game World, the developers, did make a post with troubleshooting tips on if the game is performing poorly, but again, I've found that a great mod has helped a lot with that. When I looked on Reddit, there seems to be a mixed experience on console. Some are saying it runs great, some are saying it runs terrible. I don't know because I don't have a console. Now, the weight system. You can't carry a lot, and there are upgrades for your armor suits, but it's not much. My god. You have to be a pack rat because of the prices of goods and repairs, so you end up running around fully loaded a lot of the time, popping energy drinks. Again, there's bugs with that. Sometimes the energy drink doesn't work, and you have to pop another one. Now, they have these Hercules supplements you can take that allow you to carry more, but those only last 300 seconds, and I personally haven't found many throughout the world so far. I mean, there's tons of little bugs I could go through. There are quest bugs. I had one myself where I couldn't complete a quest because, without any spoilers, 2 of the targets that I had to kill would not spawn. I did end up finding a workaround. Luckily, by exiting the particular area I was in, it produced a different outcome for the quest, which wasn't my preferred outcome, but at least I was able to progress. So there are plenty of little bugs throughout the game, but I consider them minor and not game-breaking. However, frustrating and immersive immersion breaking they might be. They've already released a few patches in only 2 weeks' time, so they're definitely committed to the future of this game. But there's definitely still a lot of work to be done. Oh, and the stealth. Enemy AI aggro so easily. They can see you from far away. When even you think you might be hidden, you're still able to be seen. It really makes stealth almost impossible to achieve. Now, one more thing that, again, is not game-breaking, but is extremely annoying, and there is no mod for that I can find, is how often you get hungry. I think the energy drinks make you hungrier, but still, my god. I have to eat like every couple minutes. It's insane. It's so annoying. Now, I had to rebind a bunch of keybinds because I don't know why, but the developers had the weirdest default keybinds. But that's minor, and you can rebind them. The only thing I found wasn't rebinding to one of my thumb mouse buttons was the flashlight. But again, that's minor. One thing that is absolutely horrible is the audio. There is no directional audio whatsoever. I mean, you hear a monster growl and it sounds like it's literally emanating directly from your position. As cool as the sound effects might be, as well as the environmental ambiance might sound, without some degree of directional audio, it makes the audible experience kind of rough. Very rough. And the music cuts out from time to time. But it is a kick-ass soundtrack. And even with the game having all of these issues, I would still recommend Vanilla Stalker 2. It really is an amazing experience. You can tell this entire game was built with such love and passion. This is a passion project. This reminds me of what games used to be. The in-depth storylines, the engaging plots, and you have to actually make a lot of important decisions that affect your environment for the long term, whether certain factions are hostile or not, whether certain people live or die. You directly affect the story that unfolds in an immersive way. This beautifully handcrafted, gorgeous environment. You can see the passion in every detail of every texture. And Unreal Engine 5, of course, with Lumen and all the latest technology, the lighting and the shadows. I feel the UI is intuitive, the weapon customization is intuitive, the menus are good, and the PDA looks really crisp and nice. The animations are great. The map is huge. On the Xbox app, it says something like 43 hours of playtime. I played now for 70-something hours, and I've only explored, I think, like half the map. It's gigantic. There's plenty to see and explore, and there's so much loot. You really have everything you need to get through the game. Even all the meds you need. And it's even somewhat of a platformer, and you have these little puzzles. I call them puzzles, but it's really just like finding the valve or switch that you need to open something up or turn something off. You have that classic Stalker feel. You really do. And there are so many NPC side quests that are really story rich as well. Even though the A-Life system is not where it needs to be, the world is still very immersive, exciting, engaging, and fun. The main missions take you on an incredible cinematic adventure that has got me hooked like I haven't been by a game in a long time. Its dark, gritty, adult themes are the kind of thing I need in a shooter. And after all this fluorescent, new age bullshit that's been shoved down our throats, this is such a relief. And the numbers speak for themselves with 1 million copies sold, almost 47,000 players playing at the time of this recording, 72,500 24-hour peak, and 121,000 all-time peak, and sitting at mostly very positive reviews. It's clear there is something very special here, for new and old Stalker fans alike. And now for PC users, I want to discuss the mods I used that really enhanced my gameplay experience, and I'll show you where to get them. I downloaded all of these mods from nexusmods.com. The instructions for installation for all of them are right in the descriptions of every mod. Most of them are just dragging and dropping files into the mod packs folder of the game, and all the links to the mods are in the description and all other helpful links as well. So let's get started. The first mod we'll talk about is Optimization Essentials by The Hybrid. This one mod improved my performance tenfold. I think from the description it's saying that it improves DLSS and the other upscaling methods, and I think that first line is supposed to say makes Unreal Engine effects not artifacty. So my game looks great and performs amazing. I'm getting 60, 70 something frames in most areas, which is a huge improvement from that 30 something, 40 something frames I was getting before. I highly recommend this one. Then we have ultra realistic Reshade, which just makes the game look a little more realistic. Before, I felt the shadows were too dark and the colors were too vibrant, but with this mod, yeah, I feel it looks a lot better, and that's by Workin. I also eventually turned off the threat indicators. I feel like that's kind of arcadey and feels a little cheaty in my opinion, being able to know exactly which direction enemies are coming from. Next is the custom headshot and no headshot sound effects. I opted for no headshot sound effects because I think it's so arcadey, I can't stand it. Sounds ridiculous on a game like this. With this mod, you can also choose from other headshot sound effects, and you can also choose to remove the cooldown between headshot sound effects. I also have the Marathon mod, which increases stamina regeneration and decreased stamina usage by Maklane. It's not even that much of an adjustment, so I don't really feel like I'm cheating and making it too easy. Honestly, I feel like the usage could have been decreased more and the stamina regen could have been increased a little more, but it helps a bit. Reduced repair cost by Hockey Dokie. I think this is a huge one for a lot of people. The repair costs of your equipment and weapons is so high. I felt it needed to be reduced a little bit. I kind of reduced it a lot. You can choose between 80, 60, 50, 40, 20% or free. I don't want to go free because that's, again, to me that feels like cheating, feels too easy. There's no challenge there. And I thought 80% would be too much, so I worked my way up to 80 because 40, 50, and 60 still felt like too expensive. That's how I like it, but again, you can choose what would best suit you. And this is just a fun one that I threw in there that I didn't exactly need, but I thought was really cool and way better than the default model for the energy drinks in the game. It's in the style of the original Stalker, and you can choose between Stalker 1 or Stalker 2 logo. I chose Stalker 2. I thought that would be cool. And that one is made by Graypedia. I had to install a UE Tools developer console uploaded by Cranch Blue Wolf so I could drop Skiff's pistol because I didn't need it anymore. I had better weapons and I just wanted to get rid of it out of my inventory, and you can't move quest items from your inventory to anywhere and you can't sell them. I still have a bunch of other quest items that I would really love to drop. I don't know if I can do that through this tool. If I did it with the pistol, I'd imagine I'd be able to do it with the other quest items, but that's a project for another day. Now I have the Ray Traced Audio Binaural Sounds mod by the Hybrid. This really helped with the audio. Now I finally have directional audio. It's not perfect, but it's so much better than vanilla Stalker 2 audio. I love it. Highly recommend. I have the faster splash screen mod by Garrus. So all the beginning loader screens, the shader building screens, all of that goes a lot quicker. Parkour mod by Mangas. It adds ledge grabbing and reduced melee and jump stamina costs. I didn't notice too much of a difference, but it helps a little bit. I have the A-Life extended mod by Hockey Dokie. This mod helps so much with the AI spawning. It has an increased AI count and changed AI behavior. The zone population tweaks to points of interest and campfires. Increased AI spawn distance from 55 meters to 100 meters. Increased view distance from 85 meters to 200 meters. Increased POI's respawn time from 5 minutes to 6 minutes. Increased POI's respawn distance from 25 meters to 65 meters. Increased AI long range spread, which includes Maklane's better gunfights with no aimbot NPCs. Custom stealth settings, various tweaks to make stealth possible and balanced. I didn't mess with the stealth, but I'll tell you, all these other tweaks with the AI spawns made the experience a lot more immersive. They spawn at 180 degrees instead of 360 or directly in front of you, and they spawn further away. So it's not perfect, but it's so much better. This mod is also highly recommended. I'm using the Equalized aim sensitivity mod. It equalizes X and Y axes so you get balanced aiming. I felt like there was something a little off with the aiming at first, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I guess the X and Y axis sensitivities didn't match, so this takes care of that. I added this readable ammo one in. I find it very useful. I did find it a little difficult to squint and look at the little numbers on the boxes, so this is great. I added the reasonable weapon degradation mod, which is pretty self-explanatory. I still think they degrade a little quick, but again, it helps. I used the remove crouch vignette. I never liked crouch vignettes. I don't know if that's how you say it. Vignette, vignette. I don't know. But I never liked it in my games. So this is a huge one for me. Love it. I'm also using Maklane's Better Zone Total Overhaul. This adjusts the AI HP and a lot of other balances and changes. This one is essential. It's uploaded by the real Maklane, and it was recommended in the description to play on Expert. I did just that, and trust me, it's great. This mod works very nicely with Expert difficulty. Pretty well balanced. Now, there are lots of other mods. They come out daily. I'm actually amazed at how many there are for this game only being out for 2 weeks. But either way, whether you're playing modded or unmodded, this is an awesome game. I totally recommend it, and I have full confidence Stalker 2 will continue to get even better and better. Thank you members Carl Broker and Mustafa for your continued support. If you'd like to join, it's $2.99 a month and you get a bunch of perks like these member shoutouts and videos, special custom emojis to use in the comments, and much more. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please like, subscribe with the notification bell on, and comment down below. Just a simple like helps so much to support the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.